Hare Krishna. So let us discuss about the 5th chapter. So we can, on the left side we can see what are the chapters, what are the name of the chapter names that are given by different acharyas. Shankaracharya, many have given them Sannyasa Yoga. Sridhara Swami has given us Karma Sannyasa Yoga, and Vedanta Desikara has given us Tad Antargata Jnana Vipaka, the difference between the Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us Brahma Jnana Yoga, and Baldev Vidyabhushan given us Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So Srila Prabhupada has given us Karma Yoga, Action, Krishna Consciousness. So coming to the, what is the relationship between this chapter, 5th chapter, and the last chapter is, now as we have heard in the 4th chapter, Krishna praised Karma Yoga also in 3rd chapter and 4th chapter, Yogam Attishtostishta Bharata. So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to do Karma Yoga also in previous chapters, even in the 4th chapter. And at the same time, Krishna is saying the person who has attained Jnana, for him there is no need of doing any work. And he is praising the Jnana also. He is saying that the Jnana component is more important than the Dravya component. And he is saying Jnana is pure. So now Arjuna is confused whether he has to perform Jnana Yoga or whether he has to perform Karma Yoga. So now he is asking the question to Krishna that sometimes you are saying, sometimes Krishna is saying giving up all work is good, and at the last he is saying get up and fight. Now he's like, one is like no action, one is like full action. So both are like opposite, moving and non-moving, darkness and light. So now he's confused whether what to do, whether I have to do Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. So he's asking which one is superior. So if you see in the 3rd chapter, what is the question? 3rd chapter, what is the question? 3rd chapter question is, should I fight or not? In this chapter, the question is, which one is superior? You are saying about both things, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. So which one is superior? So both questions are not exactly the same. There he is asking, I'm confused whether I have to fight or not. Because sometimes you are saying Buddhi, you leave out this ghastly action. He thought that is war. So then now he is asking whether I have to fight or not. That is the question. Here he is asking which yoga is superior, whether Jnana Yoga is superior or Karma Yoga is superior. This is the question in this chapter. So now his question is, this is the chapter at glance we can see. So the question is, Jnana Yoga or Karma Yoga, which one is better? That is the question. So now then Krishna says, Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. Why? Because Nishkama Karma Yoga is practical, it is very, very easy to perform, and you can quickly attain Brahman, the self-realization. And it's a default option. Someone is in Jnana Yoga, if there is a fault in his consciousness, then again he has to practice Karma Yoga and rectify that fault in his consciousness. Again, then he can go to Jnana Yoga. So it's like a default option for everyone. And there are many case studies we have seen, like Janak Maharaj and others. So then after explaining the Nishkama Karma Yoga, specialty of Nishkama Karma Yoga, I mean how it is better than Jnana Yoga, then Krishna says how Karma Yogi attains liberation. He tells that process, and then how Jnana Yogi attains liberation, that also. Not exactly the process of Karma Yoga. He is saying how the Karma Yogi attains liberation, that is explained, and then how a Jnana Yogi attains liberation, that is explained. Then what is that liberation that we are talking about? He said liberation, that Brahma Nirvana. So what is that liberation? What is that Brahma Nirvana? That is explained in the another section from 17 to 26 verse. Then he slowly introduce the Ashtanga Yoga, because Ashtanga Yoga is also another process by which you can attain the liberation. Actually, the Jnani also, at some point of a time, he practices Ashtanga Yoga. So that's why Krishna slowly introduces Ashtanga Yoga also. So the entire this thing summary of this chapter is performing karma yoga leads to perfection. So fight. The first section, in the first section, we can see Krishna tells how karma yoga and jnana yoga are same in one sense. The goal is same, but karma yoga, nishkama karma yoga is better than jnana yoga. Let us recite together. Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punar Yogam Cha Samsasi Yachreyaetayorekam Tanme Bruhi Sunishchitam. Arjuna is saying Sannyasam Karmanam Krishna Punar Yogam Cha Vidyate. Sometimes you are praising. Sometimes you are saying sannyasam karmanam. You are saying to give up the work, and another time you are saying to do the yoga. That is karma yoga. Perform action through karma yoga. Now tell me for sure. Yachreyaetayorekam tanme bruhi nishchitam. Tell me definitely which of the two is better. Which one I have to do. So in this chapter we can see the karma sannyasa is nothing but jnana yoga is nothing but sankhya yoga. These are used as like a synonyms only, so better not to confuse. So initially only we are mentioning karma sannyasa is same as jnana yoga, is same as sankhya yoga. Now Krishna will clear Arjuna doubt. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Sannyasa karma yogascha Nishreyasa karavubhau Tayostu karma sannyasa Karma yogo vishishyate. Karma yogascha Nishreyasa sannyasa and karma yoga both will to karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. Better than karma sannyasa. What is karma sannyasa? The sankhya yoga, jnana yoga. Better than jnana yoga is karma yoga vishishyate. Better than jnana yoga is karma yoga is better than jnana yoga. Why? Krishna will explain in next verses. But generally we see karma yoga doesn't have the same faults as in practicing jnana yoga. Like in karma yoga also there is some jnana involved. He thinks that he is not the doer, but Prakriti is the doer. The senses are interacting with the sense objects. So there is a jnana involved even in some jnana involved in the karma yoga. Because of that, the steadiness is still there. Because of that, it will bring the steadiness for him. And if a jnana yogi, suppose he has renounced everything, again he has developed some attraction to some woman, again he has to marry and practice karma yoga, and again then he can go for jnana yoga. He can again renounce everything and go. So like in other ways, the karma yoga is like a default option. So in that sense, karma yoga doesn't have the same faults like in jnana yoga. So now Krishna will explain why karma yoga is better than jnana yoga. Gneyasa nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati nirdvando hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyet. Krishna is saying gneyasa nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati. Mahabaho, O Mahabaho, the karma yogi is known as nitya sannyasi. He is a constant sannyasi. Why? Because Yona dveshtina kankshati. He doesn't hate or nor desire something, and nirdvando. He is above the dualities. That means he tolerates the dualities. Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha. All these things he tolerates. And such kind of a karma yogi who is called as Nitya Sannyasi. Why? Because of these qualities, he will be easily freed from the bondage. So, in essence, this perfected karma yogi is always fixed in Jnana Yoga. So now Lord is explaining why. Lord is explaining how the karma yoga and Jnana Yoga will give the same result. Sankhya yoga prutak प्रवदन्ति न पंडिताः एकमपि आस्थितः सम्यग् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्. Sankhya yoga prutak bala pravadanti na pandita. Sankhya and this karma yoga, some people say they are different. So he's saying prutak bala, they are like not childishly, they say that means they are not wise. So those who are not wise, they speak that Sankhya yoga and karma yoga are different. But what Krishna is saying, performing one of these, they will attain the result of both. What is the result of both the yogas? That is Brahma Nirvana. So either Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga, both of them goal is the same. In that sense, they both are same. They both result to the same. They both go towards the same goal. So in that way, they are same. So Karma Yoga is like from Karma Yoga it is like two-step process. From Karma Yoga, then he comes to Jnana Yoga, then Brahma Nirvana. Jnana Yoga he directly goes to, then he directly attains Brahma Nirvana. So Krishna is saying furthermore, Yat Sankhe Prapyate Sthanam Tad Yogair Apigamyate Ekam Sankyam Cha Yogam Cha Yap Pashyati Sapashyati. Why they are same? Because Sankhya Yoga, Yat Sankhe Prapyate Sthanam. The state, Sthanam is the position, the state that you achieve by Sankhya Yoga, Tad Yogair Apigamyate. You can reach that stage by Yogair. Here Yogair means, which context we are discussing? Karma Yoga. So Nishkama Karma Yoga. So Yat Prapyate Sthanam, Yat Sankhya Prapyate Sthanam, the state that you achieve by Sankhya Yoga, you can achieve it by Tad Yogair Apigamyate. By Karma Yoga also you can achieve the same state. Ekam Sankyam Cha Yogam Cha Ya Pashyati Sapyachati. So those who see like this, that they both are leading to the same, they both are actually same in one sense. Ya Pashyati Sapashyati. Those who actually sees it like that, they are actual seers. Suppose those are not in the medical field, they see an X-ray of a bone and they say everything is all right. But those are in the medical field, a doctor, he sees the X-ray and say, no, there is a hairline fracture here. So I mean, he is seeing with the knowledge, so that's why he is able to properly see it. So those who sees with this knowledge understand that they both actually lead to the same goal. The goal achieved by Karma Yoga is same as the goal achieved by the Jnana Yoga. So those who understand like that, such kind of person, Ya Pashyati, those who sees it like that, Ya Pashyati Sapashyati, he is the actual seer. So now the question may arise, both are again ultimately is going to the same goal. What is that? Brahma Nirvana, self-realization. Then if both are going to the same goal, then why Karma Yoga is better? Now Krishna says, Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma nachirena adhigacchati. Krishna is saying, Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkhamaptum ayogataha. Without practicing Karma Yoga, so then the renunciation is very difficult. What happens by practicing Karma Yoga? Your mind and senses will be controlled, it will be purified. So without that you can't do renunciation. Else you will be, what you will become? Mithyachari. That is said in third chapter. So renunciation is difficult to attain without Karma Yoga. That means even to go to Jnana Yoga process, you have to perform Karma Yoga. But Krishna is saying here important point. Remember, the Jnani engaged in Karma Yoga quickly attains Brahman. he has perfected Karma Yoga. Now he has reached the stage of Jnana Yoga. He is a Jnani now. But still, if he still, with that knowledge, still he engages in Karma Yoga, he will quickly attain Brahman. Why? Because Karma Yoga is safe, it is easier process. I mean, all the actions, engaging your senses actively is very easier than completely being in an inaction. So, in that sense, Karma Yoga is very safe and easier, and you will quickly attain the goal that is achieved by the Jnana Yoga. In that sense, Krishna is saying Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. But Jnana Yoga is always superior than Karma Yoga. But the attaining that Brahma Nirvana will be easier if after it will be easier in Karma Yoga. Even someone goes to the Jnana platform, but still he engages in Karma Yoga, he will quickly attain the Brahma Nirvana, self-realization. This is clear, right? So, example is King Janaka. He was a Jnani, but still he is doing all these kingly duties, and he has attained and he has quickly attained this Brahma Nirvana. So, in the next 6 verses, Krishna tells about how Karma Yogi attains the liberation. Krishna is saying, Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriyaha Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvan Apina Lipyate. Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma. Yoga Yukto means, here yoga is, in this entire chapter, wherever yoga comes, that is Nishkam Karma Yoga. Yoga Yukto, the person who is engaging Nishkam Karma Yoga, that means he has become pure. What he develops? Vishuddhatma, pure intelligence. His intelligence is purified. Vijitatma. First time, the first Atma refers to the intelligence. Vishuddhatma. Then Vijitatma. Vijitatma means controlled mind. Then Jitendriya, controlled senses. The pure intelligence, controlled mind, and controlled senses. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. Sarva Bhuta. All living entities will become Atma Bhuta. For all living entities, he will become Atma Bhuta. Who Atma? That means he becomes dear to Atma Bhuta. That means dear to Sarva Bhuta, for all living entities. So my question: how he becomes dear for all the living entities? Because he doesn't exploit any person for any material purposes. So that's what Bhagavad Gita says, because he doesn't exploit any person for any material purposes, so he becomes dear to all. So like Srila Prabhupada is dear to all the hippies. So he is not doing for any some person, he is not engaging them for his personal purpose. To engage, he is not thinking for any material purpose. He is not engaging them for any material purpose. For spiritual purpose, to uplift them to the Krishna consciousness, he is selflessly doing. Seeing that all the hippies also loved Srila Prabhupada. So he's not. They clearly know that he is not going to exploit him. So he has become dear for all. Now, how a Nishkama Karma Yogi will act. Again, every time Krishna says how he acts. In 3-4 chapters we are seeing he is without attachment. He does same thing he will be saying. But here he says little differently. Naiva kaschid karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavit pashyan shunvan sprishan jignan asnan gachan swapan swasan pralapan visrajan grihnan unmishan nimishan api indriyan indriyarteshu vartanta iti dharayan So that tattvavid, the Nishkama Karma Yogi, Yukto Manyate, that Nishkama Karma Yogi having tattvavid, having knowledge of the Atma, that Atma, what is the knowledge of Atma? That this Atma is different from this body, senses and buddhi, mano, buddhi, all these things are there. He is different from all these things. This Atma is different from all these things. This Tattvavit, knowing this, that Karma Yogi, what he do? What he thinks that only the senses are engaging with the sense objects. I am not actually the doer. So he's thinking that only senses are engaging with sense objects. He understands like that. But Atma, I am different from all that. So then he says, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, all the karmendriyas, all the seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, all are jnanendriyas, eating, all are jnanendriyas. Then they are speaking, excreting, and talking, and all this. And these are like karmendriyas. Then going while walking and all these also actually comes under karmendriyas. And sleeping, what Baladev Vidya says, tatantaraga. See, it's like a functionings of the internal organs. And so jnanendriya, karmendriya, and in functions of internal organs, and breathing is the prana, apana, all these five primary pranavayus, and there are secondary closing and opening and closing their eyes. They represent the secondary pranavayus. So when all these are interacting, when all these are functioning, he thinks that the senses are engaging with the sense objects, and I am different from that. I am doing nothing at all. I am doing nothing at all means without Prakriti is inactive. Unless he wants it, he doesn't. If I want to eat, then only I will eat. So I am doing nothing at all in the sense that I am not the only doer. I am not the only doer, but the Prakriti also is doing. So Prakriti, what is that? Vimud Atma, who thinks that we will away Prakriti? Prakriti Kriyamani, Gune Karmani Sarvasha, Ahankar Vimud Atma, Kartaham Vimunati. He thinks that I am the only doer. So that person who is an attached yogi, he thinks like that. But who is a Nishkama Karma yogi, how he thinks? I am doing nothing at all. Actually, Prakriti is doing. So now he is doing all his daily activities, as you can see in the image. He does all the daily activities as mentioned in this. So will he get any karma bandhana? Will he accrue any results of his work? No. Why? Krishna is saying, Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha lipyate na sa papena padma patram ivambasa. So what he's doing? He is doing this karma, he is doing these activities. Brahmanyadaya karmani. He is concerning his activities to the metal energy. Actually, metal energy is doing. And Sangam Tyaktva. So, what is Sangam Tyaktva? Baladev Vidya Bhushan translated as Sangam Tyaktva means giving up the attachment and material identification that I am this body. Giving up this attachment and false identification that I am this body. And who is the doer? This metal energy is the doer, concerning his actions to the metal energy. By in that way, he engages in work. He is not contaminated by sin. He is doing all those actions, but he is thinking in this way. He doesn't having any attachment or metal identification that he is body, and whatever is happening, that actually Prakriti is doing. How Prakriti is doing in the sense, like he is doing, but the Paramatma, the super soul, based on the Jiva's previous impressions and the karma, he gives, he acts, and actually super soul is influencing his mind and this thing, and he is acting. In that sense, he thinks. So, he's saying that entire Prakriti is working like that. So, he is concerning all his actions to the Prakriti. such kind of person is not contaminated by sin. How Krishna giving example of lotus leaf is not touched by the water, even though it is in the water. Also, what Krishna is saying, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyairapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhyate. Krishna is saying, not just this, not just he is thinking all these things. What he is doing, Kayena manasa buddhya kevalair indriyair. So he is engaging his Kayena, he is engaging his body, manasa, his mind, buddhya, he is engaging his intelligence, kevalair indriyairapi, he is engaging his senses also. Here kevalair means, Baldev Devotion take it as a very pure. So now he is completely purified. He is engaging all these things. What Jnana Yogi does, he doesn't do any action, but he is engaging his senses, mind, intelligence, and body, everything, and he is doing, but he is doing with that consciousness, which we discussed in the previous chapter. Yogina karma kurvanti, that yogi karma kurvanti, he is doing the karma sangam tyaktva. But what is the sangam tyaktva? We have seen in the previous verse also sangam tyaktva. What is the sangam tyaktva? Without any attachment, without any material identification. Sangam tyaktva atma shuddhyate. Then he will purify himself. That means, Baldev Devan says, extinguishing his false identification. He'll be purified in the heart. So what happens after purification of heart? Then he will see he'll attain the vision of Atma. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantim apnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibadhyate. So now he is attaining he is purified by acting like this. He is Atma Shuddhate. He is now purified, extinguishing false identification. That means his heart is purified. Then Yukta Karma Phalam Tyaktva. He is rejecting. He is not attached to he is giving up the karma phalam. Shantim apnoti naishtikim. What is attaining? Naishtikim Shantim. That means the steady Shanti. Charging is not happening. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti apnoti naishtikim. What is attaining? Naishtikim shanti. That means naishtikim means steady shanti. Here shanti means that vision of Atma. Ayukta kama karena phalo sakto nibadhyate. He engages his mind in Atma, giving up results of work, karma phalam tyaktva, attains vision of Atma. That shantim naishtikim shanti. That person not engaging. So Krishna is giving example of reverse also. That person not engaging his mind in Atma, being attached to result of lust, takes repeated birth and death. You can see here examples of Janaka Maharaj. So he was like first two lines Krishna is saying, that is the example of Janaka Maharaj. So he engaged his mind in Atma, everything. He has attained the vision of Atma. As Krishna said, how the karma yoga, niskama karma yoga acts, he acted. But that is a first example. And the second example where the other example Krishna is giving, he is a person who is not engaging his mind in Atma. He is doing all this karma yoga, but he is not engaging his mind in Atma. He is not focused in that. So being attached to the result out of lust, he takes repeated birth. So King Nrga is one of the example. He is the only unfortunate fellow whom Krishna met, but he didn't go to spiritual world. Krishna, whoever Krishna meet, they all attained that love for Krishna. They all went to spiritual world, but only he went to heavenly planet. So that means that's why you are saying he's attached to results. He did all this karma yoga process, everything, but he is doing with attachment, so he's not focused in the Atma. So that's why he took repeated birth and death. So even in the Karma Yoga, there is like kacha mango, pakka mango. Some are initial people are like attached to the results and this thing. Pakka mango is like those are not attached to the results and all these things with detachment they do. Now Krishna will explain in next verses. Now he has explained the how a karma yogi will attain the liberation. He does with that consciousness what material energy is actually doing. I am not the doer. The senses are engaging with sense objects. Everything is things like that. And but he engages his mind, intelligence, body, everything, but with detachment. With detachment he does. That's why he will not incur any sin. So then after that he will, by doing that, what he does, Atma Shuddhite, his heart is purified, then he will get this Naishtikyam Shanti. So then he attains the vision of Atma. Now Krishna is saying, so in essence, Karma Yogi lives a doership mentality. He doesn't desire for results of activities, neither attached or unattached to the activities. He doesn't get sins even though engaged in, even he doesn't get sin, even he is engaging his mind, body, sense, intelligence, everything. So first and second section is completed. Now third, how a Jnana Yogi attains liberation. Sarva karmani manasa sannyasaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi naiva kurvanna karayan. So sarva karmani manasa sannyasaste sukham vasi navadvare pure dehi naivan kurvanna. He is situated in the what? Navadvare pure dehi. He is sukham vasi. He is situated happily in this thing, but engaging his controlling his senses, the jiva knowledge of the jiva knowledge of Atma remains comfortable in the body, which is city of 9 gates. He knows that he does nothing nor causes anyone else to do. That means he is also doing the same thing, offering all the activities to Pradhana. Pradhana means, it is Pradhana means from Pradhana only all this mind, senses, intelligence, everything has. Pradhana means the unconscious material manifestation. From that, again, entire this universe came, the mind, senses, all this came. So in here Pradhana in one sense is the material energy, the senses, mind and everything. So he is offering all the activities to Pradhana. That means he is concerning the same thing that Karma Yogi does, offering all the activities to Pradhana by mind. And while engaging in those activities, he doesn't have any these activities to do, any prescribed duties to do. But he eats, sleeps, and all these things, right? Even while doing that, he thinking that the senses are engaging with the sense objects. So in that way, even though he is in the body, Jnana doesn't perform any action. No, Krishna is saying, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijati prabhu na karma phalam samyogam swavastu pravartate. Na kartrutvam, he doesn't become agent to do any karma. He doesn't say that you do that karma. He doesn't say some people, you do that karma, you do this karma. No, nor causes others to act. He doesn't causes others also to act. He also doesn't become an agent to do any karma. And karma phala samyogam. He doesn't keep any relationship with the results of the action. That means he doesn't enjoy the result, nor he causes others to enjoy the results. So whatever is happening, so whatever the action that he is doing, then what he says, how it is happening, this takes place by swabhava. So swabhava means the impressions or vasanas. Based on the jiva's karma, all the swabhavas are there, and the super soul, based on his swabhava, what he does, if his desire is to degrade, the Lord will make him to degrade. If the jiva's desire is to go up and up in his consciousness, Lord will help in this. Lord is just acting based on his desire. He is engaging in the actions based on engaging him in some actions based on the jiva's desire only. Now someone may say, is God responsible for he is doing by his swabhava, then is God responsible for the activities done by jiva based on his swabhava? No, Krishna is saying, nadatte kaschachit papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhu ajnanenavrutam jnanam tena mukshyanti jantavaha. So Krishna is saying, the Lord is not responsible. I am not nadatte kaschachit papam. The Lord is not responsible for the sinful or pious acts of the jivas. The Lord, based on his desire whether to degrade or uplift his consciousness, the Lord engages him in some actions. Lord is not responsible. Lord is not directly responsible for the sinful or pious acts of jiva. Nachaiva sukrutam vibhu ajnanenavrutam jnanam. So then how he does this, all the sinful actions or this thing? So jiva's knowledge is covered by the hostility of Lord. That means he is, because of the hatred towards the Lord, the jiva's hatred towards the Lord, although the Atma's jnana is eternal, it is always there, ajnanenavrutam. So because of his hatred towards the Lord, his jnana is covered, avrutam. Because of that, he get bewildered, and because of that ignorance, he does all the sinful activities. And one should not blame the Lord for this. And then he blames the Lord because he is covered by this knowledge, and he says that actually because of the Lord only this happened. Now, how Krishna is going little this answering this kind of this query, and again coming back to the topic. Then now Krishna is saying, so here, what actually Jnana Yogi does, that is explained. He doesn't do any action, nor he induce any other people to do any action, nor he want any results of any action. He doesn't keep any relationship with the results of any action. Now, Lord is again coming back to the same thing in Jnana Yoga, how he attains liberation. Now, Krishna is saying, Jnanena tu tad ajnanam esam nashitam atmanaha tesam aditya vajnanam prakashayati tatparam. Krishna is saying that jiva's knowledge, that knowledge of the jiva will destroy what is the knowledge that he has, that knowledge will destroy the ignorance in his heart, like the sun so that knowledge actually destroys the ignorance, and like the sun, it reveals the Supreme Lord and Jiva. That means now he will attain the Atma, vision of Atma. So here actually what Baldev Vidyabhushan took is that Param means he took it as a Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord is transcendental, and Jiva also is Param because this Jiva is controlling his mind and senses. So here Param means Supreme Lord and Jiva. So that's why Baldev Vidyabhushan says that here Supreme Lord and Jiva. So because of this jnana, his heart is purified, his ignorance is destroyed completely, and he will attain the vision of Supreme Lord and Jiva. So by jnana, now Brahman relation achieved, that he has seen the vision of Atma, that he is Atma. And what is that Brahma Nirvana? Now Krishna will explain in the next section. So Jnana Yogi, what he does, in a sense, he offers all activities to Pradhana. He doesn't have any prescribed activities to do, neither he inspires someone to do any prescribed activities. He thinks all activities are happening because of Swabhava, and Lord is not responsible for Jiva's activities. So now what is the Brahma Nirvana is explained. Tad buddhayas tadatmanas tannishtas tatparayana gacchantya punaravrittim jnana nirduta kalmasha. Tad buddhayas tadatmanas. Now, this Jnani, here it is important point. Now, this Jnani, Tad Buddhayas Tadatmanas, he is convinced of what? Tad Buddhayas Tadatmanas, he is convinced of my qualities. My qualities means the Paramatma qualities. What is that Paramatma? He is convinced of that Paramatma qualities. What is that called? I will say. He is convinced of the Paramatma qualities, Tad Buddhayas Tadatmanas, and his mind is absorbed in my qualities, that Paramatma qualities. Tannishta. So he makes Paramatma as his goal, and Tat Parayana, and he surrenders to that Paramatma. So with his mind convinced of the Lord's qualities, Paramatma qualities, his mind absorbed in the Paramatma qualities, Tannishta, they are making the Paramatma as the goal, and they surrender to that Paramatma. Gacchantya punaravritting jnana nirdhuta kalmasha. By that, what happens? Being washed of all jnana nirdhuta kalmasha. All the ignorance is destroyed by that knowledge. What is that knowledge? Knowledge of the Paramatma qualities. So now, what is that Paramatma quality that they are convinced of, that they are absorbed in? What is that? That comes next. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. So that Pandita, what is seeing? Brahmana. So now comes the what is that quality that he is focusing on. Brahmane Gavihastini. The wise man sees Paramatma, so equal in creating Brahmana. So Paramatma is creating Brahmana, Paramatma also is creating a dog, Paramatma is also creating an elephant, he is creating a dog eater, he is also creating cow. But while creating all of this, one is of higher consciousness, one is of lower consciousness, while creating all of this, he is equal in doing, he is equal to all of these people while creating them. That means, so Lord, based on their karma only, Lord is just giving whatever the suitable body to them. So in that way, Paramatma is equal to all. So they focus, they are convinced of this quality of the Paramatma. That means Sama Darshina. They understand this quality of Paramatma, that the Lord is equal to everyone. The Paramatma is equal to everyone, even though someone is having because of good karma, they are having good birth, someone is not having the good birth. So but the Paramatma is equal in creating all of them. Only based on their prarabdha, they are attaining different kinds of bodies. So he understands this quality of Paramatma. He understands this quality of Paramatma, he is convinced of this, and he is absorbing his mind in this quality of Paramatma, and then he surrenders to Paramatma. He makes the Paramatma as his goal, and then he surrenders to Paramatma. Now someone may call, he is seeing the unqualified and qualified person as the same, because he is seeing, because Paramatma is seeing all of them as same, he is also seeing all of them as spirit souls. In that sense, he is seeing this, all of them as same. Now someone may call, how can he call be Pandita? Because he is seeing, Pandita means he has to discriminate, which is this is high, this is low, this is good, this is not. That is explained here. Ihaivater jitta sargo Esham samye sthitam manaha Nirdosham hi samam brahma Tasmat brahmani te sthitah. Because their mind is always absorbed in the Samye Sitamana. Their mind is always absorbed in this quality. What is that quality? Impartiality of the Paramatma, who is Nirdosham, who is faultless. That their mind is always absorbed in this impartiality of this faultless Paramatma. So, faultless Paramatma. Even so, that's why what happens, because their mind is always absorbed in this quality of Paramatma, even while performing sadhana, they will attain liberation. That means the Jivan Muktas are described here. The Lord is explaining Jivan Mukta. That means they are becoming liberated even while situated in this body. So that's what he's saying. Even while performing sadhana, convinced of Lord's qualities, they easily attain liberation even in this world. Now they don't have any misconception about the Lord. Because of that, they are attaining this liberation. So why they are faultless? Because Paramatma is faultless. Those who have attained Paramatma also is faultless. Now explaining the Jivan Mukta. Now he has attained liberation even in this life. Now Krishna is explaining what are the qualities of the Jivan Mukta. न प्रहर्षयेत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्यम् स्थिरबुद्धिर् असम्मूढो ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि प्रहर्षयेत् प्रियं प्राप्य. If he gets something desirable, he doesn't feel rejoice in that. नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्यम्. If he doesn't get something, no, why this has come, he doesn't become agitated. Because of this intelligence is fixed. Asammudo, he doesn't get Krishna is in simple sense, Krishna is saying what is the qualities of that Jivan Mukta. He, if something undesirable comes to him, he doesn't get agitated. If something desirable comes to him, just in them, because his intelligence is always fixed in Atma, because he always knows that he is Atma, based on my prarabdha, something is desirable is coming, based on my prarabdha, something undesirable is coming. So because of this, this is the quality that you can observe in the Jivan Mukta that Krishna is saying. So then he realizes Brahma. Because of this, he realizes Brahma. He is said to be situated in Brahman. That means he is fixed in that vision of Atma and Paramatma. Now, how person situated in Brahman is, now he has attained the vision of Atma. Now, how he realizes Paramatma. Bahyasvarshesha saktatma Vindantatmani yat sukam Sabrahma yoga yuktatma Sukam akshayam ashnute. So, Bahyasvarshesha saktatma. He is not attached to the happiness arising from the Bahyasvarshesha saktatma, from the sense object. Vindantatmani yat sukam. He who attains the happiness of Atma, because he attained the happiness of Atma, then he becomes fixed in the realization of Paramatma, the Brahma Yoga Yukta Atma. He is fixed in the Brahma Yoga. His Brahma Yoga is Baldev Devotion taken as the realization of Paramatma. Sukam Akshayam Asnute. He get the happiness, that indestructible happiness. So, now Krishna is explaining about the spiritual happiness. Now Krishna is explaining what about the happiness that we get through the senses. Krishna is explaining the nature of that kind of happiness. Ei samsparsha jabhoga dukkha yone evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. So, Krishna is saying, Yai samsparsha jabhoga. Samsparsha means when the senses come in touch with the sense object. Ja means it gives birth to bhoga. So, a pleasure is born. Dukkha yone evate. What it lead to? It will lead to dukkha yonaya. Here yoni means, yoni word is significant. Yoni means womb. Dukkha yone evate means your suffering is in the womb, and if it is in the womb, in some meantime, it will deliver. So in that sense, he is saying, immediately you may not get suffering, so in meantime you will get. Dukkha yone evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshuramate buddha. So this kind of happiness is having a beginning and a end. What is that kind of happiness in spiritual happiness? Sukham akshayam asnute. It is indestructible, but this has a beginning and end. Adyantavanta kaunteya nateshuramate buddha. Those are buddhiman intelligent person, he doesn't relish in this. शक्नोति हैव शोढुम् प्राक् शरीर विमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगम् सयुक्तः स सुखी नरः. Now, so only question: till what time you have to control this lust and anger? When it will go? Krishna is saying, till the time you give up your body, this will be there. You have to just tolerate. Shaknoti eva shodam prakshara vimokshana. Those who can tolerate this agitation rising from lust and anger when they arise. So till the end of the body, Shaknoti eva shodam prakshara vimokshana. Till the time you give up your body, you have to tolerate this agitation of lust and anger. So, kama krodha, this vegam you have to tolerate. Sayutta sukhina. Then you will be blissful in the realization of Atma. If you can tolerate this thing, then your mind will be focused on Atma. Else, you will not be focused on Atma. Atma and Paramatma. So, just conquering, then Krishna is saying, just conquering lust and anger is not just enough to get liberated. You should have more qualities also. Yo anta sukho antaras aramas tatantar jyotirevayah sayogi brahma nirvan brahma bhutodi gacchati. So this Niskama Karma Yogi, whose happiness is within, yo anta sukho antaramas, whose happiness is within, whose enjoyment is within, whose side is also within. That means he is completely focused on Atma and he is satisfied in Atma. His enjoyment is within only. I mean, he by means any happiness. So he is completely happy in the realization of Atma and Paramatma. It is within. Having realized Atma, then the Paramatma, then after Atma, then Paramatma attains liberation. Actually, Krishna's what Baldev Devotion says is that actually Bansa Maharaj has translated this thing. So what he says is that this Jnani Yogi, at some point of a time, he practices the Ashtanga Yogi. In the sense that he is focusing on the Paramatma only. I mean, he is practicing Dhyana now. In that sense, he will be practicing the Jnana Yoga culminates in Ashtanga Yoga. So he will be practicing the Dhyana, that means in the Ashtanga Yoga. So, and also Bansa Maharaj says that they attain the Salokya liberation. So I just open say. So here he is saying, Jnani at a certain point adopt very offering of prescribed duties to Lord in Nishkama Karma Yoga and meditation on Paramatma in Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga. His liberation is Salokya and appreciation of the majestic aspect of the Lord. So, in the majestic aspect of the Lord, in Shantarasa only is there. However, the rasas starting with dasya are not manifest prominently in such a devotee. There is no dasya rasa, such kind of a rasa are not manifested in him. So this is the path of Sanishta Bhakta as made clear in chapter 6. We will see this more clear in chapter 6. So now the Paramatma realized Jnani will be compassionate to all. Labante Brahma Nirvanam Vishayakshina Kalmasha Chinnadvaida Yatatmana Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. So Labante Brahma Nirvana, after attaining this Brahma Nirvanam, Vishayakshina Kalmasha, there is divide of China Kalmasha, divide of ignorance, Chinna Dvaita Yatatmana, divide of Dvaita, Dvaita means Chinna Dvaita, divide of duality is Yatatmana, that means with controlled mind, what they do, engage in Sarva Bhuta Hitirada, they engage in the welfare of all beings, and they attain, they engage in the welfare of all beings, attain liberation. So, Sarva Bhuta Hitirada, how they are Sarva Bhuta Hitirada. So we can see like now Indras were coming to one of the king, and Chatush Kumaras are coming to Prithu Maharaj. Chatush Kumaras were Jnanis, and Prithu Maharaj was not in this Anupana. So this happened. Chatush Kumaras became devotees in this Kalpa only, but before that, when Prithu Maharaj came, so they were not devotees. So at the time they were Jnanis. So Chatush Kumaras went to Prithu Maharaj, and Prithu Maharaj served them, and they gave him the transcendental knowledge. So in that sense, they give this jnana to all. In that sense, they are Sarva Bhuta Hitirata. They are not selfish. They work for well-being of all the people. Also, Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yata Chetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. So the Paramatma and liberation attained in all respects upon those who freed from the lust and anger, and who make endeavor control the mind, having realized the Atma. So in for them only, so those who are freed from this is Kama Krodha Vimuktanam. So for such people, this liberation, Paramatma, this Paramatma liberation, the self-realization will happen. So the Krishna is saying that Paramatma realization also can be achieved by Ashtanga yogis. So now he briefly introduces the Ashtanga yoga. Sparshan Kutva Bahyam Chakshuschaivantare Pranamano Samagruppva Nasabhyantaracarino Yatindriya Mano Buddhi Nirmoksha Parayana Vigate Chabaya Krodo Yasyada Mukta Saha. But it was a person keeping the sense objects outside. Person so, and then focusing the eyes between the eyebrows, equalizing prana, and all these things, controlling the mind, neatly and senses, everything, completely dedicated for liberation. So, in brief, he is saying the process of Ashtanga Yoga, completely thus freed from the desire, fear, and anger. He is ever liberated. He will attain the liberation. So, in essence, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga both will culminate in the Ashtanga Yoga. Then Krishna is in his chapter famous verse. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutaram jnatvam shantiruchyati. Krishna is saying, here it is important point. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. Who will attain Shanti? The Shanti means here liberation. Who will attain the Shanti? The Karma Yogis will attain the liberation if they know Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. If they know what they do sacrifices. If they know the enjoyer of the sacrifices is the Supreme Lord. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam. All the yajna tapasam, he is the Lord, is the Bhokta. And the Jnana Yogis attain liberation if they understand that Lord as the Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, and the Ashtanga Yogis attain liberation if they understand Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, that Lord is there in everyone's heart, and he is a dear friend of Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is dear of all living entities. By knowing this, all these three kinds of yogis, they will attain the liberation. So in essence, this is So that question is Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga is like which one is better? Krishna says Niskama Karma Yoga is better. Even though some is Jnani, still he should engage in Niskama Karma Yoga in the Brahman. Why it is better? It is practical, easy to perform, quickly achieve Brahman, and it's a default option. And there are many cases also. Krishna tells how Karma Yoga is realization, tells how Jnana Yoga is realization. Then what is the Brahman Yoga is explained. And what is Jivan Mukta? Jivan Mukta, and what is called Jivan Mukta is explained. And then we introduce Ashtanga Yoga, which also undertakes the Paramarma realization. Question and answer.
In previous chapter and this was your discussion came there's one thing is Karma Yoga active platform of knowledge. Another thing as you mentioned just now, like exams and that he was a Jnana Yoga addicted as Karma Yoga. In that sense, so is there a difference between the two or is it the same? Karma Yoga active active knowledge, Karma Yoga active the knowledge. There's one thing came up. Another thing is like Jnana Yoga perform Karma Yoga.
Same. Karma Yoga with knowledge. Knowledge is included in Niskama Karma Yoga. And even if one is eligible for Jnana, the leaders are supposed to set example by doing Karma Yoga. Because majority of people follow the leaders and they choose Karma Yoga. Let's discuss that. Clear.
And the Jnana Yoga was considered as superior, but it is the Karma Yoga is easier and approachable. Correct. So that was recommended by Arjuna.
Yes.
Okay.
It was recommended by Arjuna. Yes.
As we see in the yoga that above karma there is jnana.
Correct.
So if somebody is following this yoga ladder, first he will do perform karma yoga, sakama karma yoga, nishkama yoga, and then come to the platform of jnana. So how can we say that as in this chapter it is exactly told that nishkama yoga is better than jnana? So how can we justify that?
Better in the sense easier. Not superior.
Okay.
Yeah. Better in the sense easier, not superior. Because even if sense and mind are not purified, still those can take up Nishkama Karma Yoga. Majority of people all there. Correct. So from Nishkama Karma Yoga comes to the Nishkama Karma Yoga itself means Jnana is related in that with knowledge. Ultimately comes to the self-realization platform, and we'll move on. We'll take Ashtanga Yoga, anything like that.
Why it told that example of Maharaj he was a jnani and still he was performing on the level of karma.
Correct.
So now it's like it should be rising above.
Yes, rising very just like I gave the example yesterday also. Even Bhagavad Gita sometimes because everybody is equal. So there's no need to preach anybody. When you are saying everybody is equal, but why you teach to come to the level of Madhikari? Yes. Same thing. Even though he is a Jnana platform, because leader, everybody follows him. That is why he does Karma Yoga. Just as an example, everybody along. Yeah.
Can we ask questions from the various yesterday's chapter?
Yes, no problem.
Yesterday number was 3.24. The example was given by Shanku. One should not do others duty and in that case. Okay. So in that case, like if we consider the example of Vishwamitra also, though he was a Kshatriya, but Brahma proved he is a Brahma Rishi. So a lot of my question is that like he is on the base of good and karma. So good and karma can change like practice or something.
Good and karma cannot change by practice. So one can Krishna complex. As a Arjuna Kshatriya, even they were in disguise as Brahmana, when they need me, their Bhagavad Gita fought with the culture, they fought the hidden members, and also like and later when there is a challenge in Mayamara, that is Patrias participated in that, and then Lord Arjuna, even as Arjuna, he when the opportunity came, so he fought. That means the nature comes out. Even if it is Ganavan, which Bhagavad Gita says that you cannot suppress the nature. So Varna, one cannot change Varna. So Mahabharata is told that how do we know Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra? It is first to all boys, select the small boys like the Gurukul, first give Brahmanic training. Whoever was not able to take training, give Kshatriya training. And then whoever was not able to follow many people in the Vaishya training. That's what the Shudras. Those are fixed. That's what it is told. You can't change Varna. That's why Brahma is a being. Brahma did not change his Varna. It's all there are exceptions like Parashurama and Vishwamitra are example like it is told. Parashurama is born as Brahmana, son of Jamanagni. That he took this profession. But in case of Parashurama, there was a curse which happened. Vishwamitra, he tried multiple times he failed. There was a episode, and this because he created a lot of disturbance. Middle Bhagavad says, now we call him Brahma, let's stop this fight with Vasishtha. Yeah, that's what it is. And many times Brahma comes to mediate on something, and to resolve the issue. But in this instance, there are exceptions like that. But also plays a role. This does not automatically the next verse also. Right. There are exceptions. But we cannot say exception itself is a regular course. But in Krishna consciousness, one will do any service, irrespective of which Varna service it is, if it is ordered by the spiritual master. But there is a beautiful point. One devotee told me, one Prabhupada disciple, he told that it is the glory of the master that he gives right service to the right disciple. And it is the glory of disciple. Whatever service is given by spiritual master, he accepts it, irrespective of whether it is to his nature or it's not something in his nature. But what combination is there perfect, that is wonderful. Proper engaged, right people like talent and rights. When he had to land in Malpur, he didn't send any Bengali cash. He sent, sorry to say, sometimes he said, I'm Bengali, but don't trust Bengali. He said that in one of the private conversation. But he said, Maharaj. He knew exactly what each person can do. That was talent. And that is he knows exactly who can do what. So spiritual master should be like that. But disciple, on the other hand, he should be like whatever spiritual master says, he should do that. Prabhupada and who is that who was going in a train to Mathura. Somebody told that you just started temple here, like Delhi. Now Prabhupada had 200 rupees something, which eventually got down in the next station and you start temple in Vrindavan. He got them. And they did it like that. And he told the Maharaj, I want you to go to China. And he went to China. Whatever spiritual master says, one should follow. That's at the same time, spiritual master knows what is good for each one of them. So sometimes if because of our nature or because of something else, if you are not able to do that service, that is all right. To our best is thing. Our because also said that the instruction, the power to execute the instruction also comes. You see, some of them are they're doing different services because Prabhupada told them to do. They're doing lifelong. Whenever I go to my Sri Nivas Prabhu and Pankajangiri Prabhu, it's a glorious service they're doing. That's whole life. Yeah. And then one Mataji I met, her name is Nidra Mataji. She was somewhere in America. I met her, and she told me that she had been distributing books for 40 years. 40 years, every day she attends morning program, Guru Puja, and then she packs her bag and she goes, and then she'll come back only for the Gaur Aarti. She had been doing it for 40 years, like every single day. Yeah.
And really, like from the last section of third chapter, from 31st verse, this Arjuna asked about all the last things. So I was not able to understand what is the connection, because all karma was being talked, and also then this last topic comes up. So
Yeah, go back to the slide. We had a connection. Krishna says that senses have to be under control, but one should not come under the sway of senses. I think 334, verse number 330. Yeah. So Arjuna asks, but even though I want to follow, I want to do this thing, there is an obstacle. What is that obstacle? What causes me to do sin? He says it is lust. That is the connection. Because lust is obstacle in karma yoga. Yeah. You see that connection is there. That's here.
yes, got it.
From this to this section here. So let's pass on the mic. Yes, Guru.
Like in second chapter, Krishna accept that Arjuna accept Krishna as master. So then he started hearing his instruction.
Yeah.
And then Krishna told in the third chapter that you have to like Yakshishtasana, so you have to do all the exam for Vishnu. But suddenly after Samasi says that my Sarvani Karmani, do it for me. So my point was like, how does it resonate to Arjuna? Because Krishna have not strongly said that he is the supreme personality about it. So that when he said to me, so why did not Arjuna ask that, why you? Because till now in the 9th and 10th chapter he tells that I am everything, but here he not tell specifically. So why did not Arjuna ask?
First, Krishna introducing the topics slowly. As I told you, when the demigod topic is introduced very slowly, like the Krishna reveals, this is what I feel about demigod worship. So it's a gradually Krishna takes to the point. That's what it is. Second thing is, Krishna likes paroksham sacha mama priya. Krishna likes him address indirectly, and he also is addressing, even he says that I am Brahman hi pratishtaham. He says that sarvasya chaham sannivisto, I am Paramatma. But whenever he is referring to Brahman and Paramatma or even Yajna, he refers as a third person. But he did say that is he. The reason is that Krishna wants Arjuna to surrender to him only, not even to any of his avatars. Deva says that when he says like Sarvadharmani Parityajya Mam Ekam, that Mam he says only to me, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his original form, two-handed, Shyam Sundar form, he wanted him to surrender. That's why to distinguish that, he addresses sometimes his incarnations and his features of absolute truth as that surrender to Paramatma, you will attain Brahman, like that he's saying. Yeah. He reserved that mostly for Bhakti Yoga. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Guruji, in third chapter and till now everything was revolving around the prescribed duties.
Correct.
And at the same time, yesterday you said that in this age we are not able to identify what is the prescribed duty. So, can you demonstrate giving an example of any IT company I am going and this?
Yeah.
That because of that we are not able to I am not able to contemplate on that philosophy.
See, prescribed duties are based on Varna and Ashram. Basically Varna. So we cannot correlate exactly to an IT industry, but I'll tell you. In IT industry, you see normally there is a project manager, there are developers, there are testers, and they do some other to the supporting the existing application. Because I'm into IT, I'll tell you. So you can correlate that project manager, one who guides most of the people to do work, that is like a Brahmana. And the developers who actually write this programming and do other things and that thing, they're like Kshatriyas. just in this analogy, don't take it literally. All are Sudras because of two reasons. If only Shudra takes a software profession, sorry to say, I'm also a software engineer, but that's what it is. And then those who support them, the testing, you can consider as the next this thing, and to do the support, they're supporting all of them. That is what it is. But there is no correlation. That is wrong to think some non-Vedic activity as taking it as Vedic activity. That's why we should not bother too much about doing karma yoga. The only option for us is bhakti yoga, because we don't have adhikar for jnana. Senses and mind are purified. When Arjuna is not able to do Ashtanga yoga, we cannot do Ashtanga yoga. Karma yoga, we think we can do, but still we don't have, technically speaking, the adhikar for karma yoga, because we are not really doing our varnashram duties. Yeah, we don't. Most of people may not even know our varna and ashram. The only thing that we are eligible, because there is no eligibility criteria, that is for bhakti yoga. So better we take up bhakti yoga wholeheartedly and move on.
Bro, one more question. Bro, can you explain it in little bit? Swadhyaya Jnana Yagna.
Swadhyaya Jnana. Swadhyaya is reciting, for example, recitation of Bhagavad Gita, recitation of Bhagavatam, and recitation of Purush Sukta, Sri Sukta in the association of students and also like-minded people. That is Swadhyaya. And Jnana is trying to understand also. Yeah, not just recitation.
And how it's yagna,
how it is yagya. Okay. See, again, yagya means, what is the definition? Anybody remembers?
Metal offerings we are putting into fire.
Yeah. Yagya is offering, something tangible, material, it may be gross or subtle, into an activity of fire. Fire is told it's an activity there, for pleasing the Supreme Lord. Okay. So here, this Jnana Yoga, the Jnanendriyas, the senses, basically we recite, we look, and we hear, and we recite. So the Jnanendriyas are used in the fire or activity of recitation for pleasing the Supreme Lord. That is why that is Yajna. Clear? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, bro.
Can you please explain the meaning of God of life?
Can you please explain the meaning of the word Jivan Mukta? Literally it means who is Mukta from Jivan, he is dead only. So what does it mean here?
I'll explain from the context of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Jivan Mukta word is not used in Bhagavad Gita, but Baladev Vidyabhushan told that is what is Sthita Prajna. So Sthita Prajna equals to Jivan Mukta. Let me update this thing also. The Buddhiman, Jnanavan, Sthita Prajna, and Jivan Mukta all are same, because ultimately he comes to the point of Dukkeshu Anudvigna Manaha, Sukeshu Vigata Spruhaha, Vitaraga Bhayakrodha, Manmaya Mamupashrita. So that person is Sthita Prajna. That person is Jivan Mukta. That means even though he is in the body, we have to consider that person is liberated, because he is not affected by anything material. See how one has to understand this is Rupa Goswami gives an example in Nectar of Instruction. In the rainy season, sometimes Ganga is all pure. In the rainy season, sometimes it looks like Ganga is muddy because so much of mud. And in fact, every day, if you see in some states, when they don't have money to do final rites, they will simply dump the dead body in Ganga. They'll float also if somebody is there in the Harishchandra Ghat and Manikarnika Ghat. Manikarnika Ghat, many half-burnt bodies, they will be thrown. But everybody on the other side doing their Sandhya Vandana, Japa and everything, and taking Ganga water, drinking, bathing, everything in this thing. Still Ganga is considered to be pure. Similarly, the body of a devotee or Jivan Mukta, even though apparently we see that he is getting diseased or his body is also decomposed, but still we have to consider that person is Jivan Mukta and his body is not material spiritual.
So, one more thing, in 4.5, Lord Krishna called Arjuna as a subduer of the enemy. Subducer of the enemy.
Parantapa.
Yeah. So like in many places we see like Lord Krishna is calling Arjun with different name. So how we can understand that what the meaning, like why Lord is calling him with that name only? Like how we get the feeling of that thing. For example, like you told that you should fight. Like in many chapter you told means you should fight. You derive that thing from some name of the Arjuna. So how we can understand this thing?
So that how we can understand is that all glories to Vyasadeva. He wrote, I mean, he documented everything, but like now more glorious are the acharyas who have given commentary. So most of the things that we have taken are either from the commentary of Baladev Vidya Bhushana, the Gita Bhushana, and Sarardha, like Sarardha Varshini, the Bhagavad Gita, commentary of Vishnu Shankar Thakur, and sometimes Jiva Goswami, though he did not write commentary on Bhagavad Gita, he quoted them in his Sandarbhas, and Srila Prabhupada's commentary. So acharyas have mentioned, because what is going on in the mind of Krishna, we don't know. They know. That's why every day we say, Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam to Rupa Goswami, because he knows the mind of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, the acharyas, they know what is Krishna meant in this thing. So they were writing. So we take them as it is.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you said that Varna system cannot be changed, Prabhuji. Varna system cannot be changed, Prabhuji.
How it can be changed?
No, cannot be changed, Prabhuji.
It cannot be changed because it's created by Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, and yesterday you said that
Daivi Varnashram.
Varna system is based on modes of material nature.
Correct.
And also you said that, Prabhuji, that Sattva, Rajo, Tama and Shuddha Sattva. And once Prabhupada said in Bhagavad Gita, we have to overcome the modes of material nature, Prabhuji.
Correct.
So when you overcome the material nature, you overcome the Varna system also.
Yes, one overcomes the Varna system also, because...
So
sorry,
how, Prabhuji?
Prabhu is saying something?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, correct. One will overcome the Varna system also, one will overcome the modes also. They will come to the platform of, like Krishna is also above Varnashram. He is not in, part of any Varna. So similarly, those who follow the Varnashram system, gradually they purify and they will transcend. When they transcend modes, that person is Mahabhagavata. It doesn't belong to a particular Varna.
Hare Krishna Ji. Yesterday you were talking about that Karma Yogi attains liberation after following the Jnana Yogi.
Karma Yogi attains liberation
by following the Jnana process.
He comes to Jnana Nishta. Correct. Karma culminates in Jnana. Correct. He following Jnana Yogi may or may not. Yeah.
Okay, means by only following Karma Yogi he will not attain.
See, karma culminates in Jnana. Karma cannot give liberation. Karma gives Jnana and Jnana gives liberation. So Karma Yoga is two-step process. Jnana Yoga is one-step process. We can get to liberation. Yeah.
By only following by only following Karma Yogi, he will not attain liberation.
By only doing Karma Yoga. See, the Karma Yoga, the perfection of Karma Yoga is karmas culminate in Jnana. Yeah. So he has to make further progress to go back home, back to Godhead. Generally, Karma Yogis, Sakama Karma Yogis, they aspire only material results, right? They do everything that is told in the Vedas. Why? To go to heavenly planets, to enjoy and other things. So what they want, they're getting end of the day. But if they want liberation, they should not expect the results and do activities. When they keep doing like that, they will come to the Jnana platform and they will go to realization. Yeah. No problem. Tell me.
Can you please explain how King Janak is on Gyan level, because he's the father of Mother Sita and normally we hear that.
Very good. Very good question. Janak Maharaj is Mahajana. Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. So he's one of the Mahajanas. So how we are counting him as a Jnana Yogi? First of all, Janaka, it is told that many Janakas in the scriptures. Looks like all of them are
like many of them, at least great Gyanis who are the ruling Mithila. So the Janaka that is referred here, he is father of Mother Sita or not, that is not mentioned explicitly. But it is mentioned that the Midila Janakas, they are the ones. So which example Krishna is quoting, which Janaka, we don't know. The current Janaka in Krishna's time, his name is Bahulashva. So Krishna goes to Mithila, in fact, to meet King Janaka Bahulashva. But it is known also that Shukadeva Goswami went to one Janaka Maharaj where he had got knowledge. I don't think it can be father of Mother Sita, because he came much later. So he got there. There is Janaka mentioned in many of the Upanishads, in the Vedas, especially in few places it came in the Vedas, the description of Janaka being very knowledgeable. Yeah. So it is not, there is no match that whether is father of Mother Sita or not. Explicitly no one said. Maybe in the picture Pawan Prabhu put that, so that probably we can correct.
And one more question.
Yeah.
When we say that the Nishkam Karma Yoga is easier than Gyan Yoga, and taking it one step ahead, like we are comparing it with Bhakti Yoga, which Srila Prabhupada has given to us. So there we find that the Bhakti Yoga is more easier in terms of activities which are given to us.
Correct.
So then why here explicitly everyone is supposed to engage in?
Correct. Everyone is supposed to, but Krishna said everyone will not take it. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. Out of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, only a few take Bhakti Yoga. And who takes Bhakti Yoga, only one rarely understands Krishna as he is. So it is rare. Prabhupada said it's simple, but he did qualify. It is simple for simple people. Yeah. So it's not that simple also. Yeah. Yes.
So one gets Bhakti Yoga when he gets the mercy of either a Vaishnava.
Yes. Bhakti comes only by Bhakti.
So is it because of this point only that one is not, so is it because that one is not got the mercy, that's why he is not able to perform Bhakti Yoga, and that's why he is supposed to do Karma
There are
Yoga?
some other prerequisites also given. Krishna says, Tesham Tvantagatam papam, Tesham tu antagatam papam, Jananam punya karmanam, te dvandamoha nirmukta, bhajante mam dridavrata. When one's sinful reactions are completely eradicated, Krishna says there is a chance, to take up devotional service. Because what happens when one is pious, normally he he tries and goes for association, there is a chance. But still, unless either Krishna or his bona fide representative gives mercy, bhakti will not come. In Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada Muni confirms that.
Thank you.
I once heard that Sripad Ramanujacharya said that every verse in Bhagavad Gita actually is telling about Bhakti Yoga only. Is it true?
Every verse in Bhagavad Gita is telling Bhakti only. Correct. And Bhagavatam Sanatana Goswami also says Prema Varshaksharaite. Every verse is telling about about Krishna and their Prema Varshaksharaite. I had this doubt. When Sisipala is blaspheming Krishna, when Hiranyaksha is blaspheming Varahaswami, and how is that Prema Varshaksharaite? So, and then I found out from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purports that he had double meaning for everything. Even whatever apparently is an insult, it is actually a glorification. Yeah. So, in fact, the Mother Saraswati will not even allow one to blaspheme Lord Krishna. So even though it apparently, if we just only read the translation, it appears it's blasphemy. But when we read the purports of Acharyas, they'll bring that. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita also, Srila Prabhupada himself, almost every chapter, he connects beautifully that to Bhakti Yoga. And there are many different meanings and interpretation, but driving the same conclusion. In fact, even Gandhi says that every time I read Bhagavad Gita, I get a different meaning. That's Gandhi says. Yeah.
One more question was we see that there was Kshatriya, like sun god, sun dynasty, moon dynasty, and then Brahmana also we hear that some came from Kashyap, some came from Kashyap Muni. some Brahmanas came from Kashyap Muni, some from this Gotra. So it seems like there were other rishis on other higher planetary system, and there were demigods. From them, Kshatriyas and Brahmanas came. So they were not actually people of belonging to this area. They were kind of
they're all migrants, you think? No. So ultimately, the Prajapatis, Brahma created the Prajapatis, and everybody is descendant of the Prajapatis. So Brahma designated after, what happens in the joint family, So after a marriage is performed, immediately they will come and ask, tell me, where should I stay now? Till now, maybe he's a brahmachari and he was in Gurukul and he's just had his, Snatakotsav and back home, and father wants him to get married. Immediately he will say that, where is the place? Where can I stay? Swayambhuman also, when he came, when he was created, immediately asked, where should I stay? Show me a place. Earth is underwater. So Brahma had given different place of residence. This thing, same thing, Rudra. When Rudra was born, immediately he's saying, what should I do? Where should I stay? So there's a different place designated for him. Like that, it's Brahma who distributed places for everybody. Yeah. But many sages, their residence is higher planets. And even Satyaloka, there are many sages, they have permanent residence, but they keep wandering on earth just to enlighten the fallen souls.
One question, one more was like Bhishma Dev, when we say that he's told about Vishnu Sahasranam, but when I was reading the translation, so the Acharya was saying always referring to Krishna only in every verse.
Yes, that's what Baladeva's beautiful interpretation of Vishnu Sahasranama. He says it's Krishna Sahasranama, and every word in Vishnu Sahasranama he gives a meaning why it is actually applicable to Krishna more than Vishnu. Yes.
So means when Bhishma Dev in front, it was Krishna. So what Bhishma Dev was referring, was he referring to Lord Vishnu, or was he actually referring
we can't
to
see
Lord
what is there in the mind of Bhishma Dev, but in Bhagavatam, his prayers, it's very clear that he's only want to take shelter of that Padasarthi form, and and the one Krishna who is two-handed, sometimes it's four-handed also to stop there. He mentions that, but he also remembers gopis, the darling of gopis. He also remembers other pastimes of Rajasuya, how Krishna was there as worship in Aishwarya Bhav. So Bhishma's Lord is definitely Ishta Devata, is Krishna. That is very, very clear from Mahabharata and Srimad Bhagavatam.
So we can be sure, we can call it Krishna Sahasranam also.
See, we can call it, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like these names to be changed. One devotee wanted to change Mukti to Bhakti in Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like it. And also many times when we do Tulsi Pranam also, instead of Vishnu, we put it Krishna. So normally it's good idea not to change the verses. But we understand Vishnu and Krishna are one and the same. Prabhupada says Krishna at home and Vishnu in office, but the same person. Yes, Prabhu. Last question, we have to break for lunch.
You told that the Varna cannot be changed, but one thing when Prabhupada went to Western world, so I also we read in scriptures that Kala Sudra Sambhavat, so everyone is born as a Sudra. So how that he gave them initiation and made them administrative classes and everything. So Prabhupada also tells that I made you qualified.
Correct.
So how can we understand this in context?
How can we say? Prabhupada did not change their Varna because none of those people were in any Varna. What Varna hippies you put there? Prabhupada said, I made hippies to happies. They were all mlechas because they were eating cow meat. Actually, there is no hope. According to scriptures, one at least takes once cow meat. There is no question of his liberation in this life. But even those people, Srila Prabhupada was so kind, and he said, I created good karma for you. I created. That's why it became. So he was so merciful to give an opportunity to them. In fact, one time, I was hearing from Tamal Krishna Maharaj, when he met first time Prabhupada. In fact, if we read Prabhupada Lilamrita carefully, we will not see when he first came and met Prabhupada. He met first time Prabhupada, he was naked. He did not want that description to be there in the Lilamrita. So that was a situation of those decisions. But because of association of Prabhupada, they had all become great souls, and Vaishnava, he inspired many, many people. In fact, he was like a right hand for Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada had some disturbance in Los Angeles, he was looking like, Tamal should come here. He wanted like this, even to establish Mayapur, this thing, he said, he wanted Tamal Krishna Maharaj is such a great soul. Yeah. And sometimes we also understand even Krishna orchestrates an empowered representative to take birth outside of Varnashram as a Muslim or Christian or as a fallen lecha, just to set an example and inspire all of us that even we can aspire by following in their footsteps, we can attain this thing. So Krishna orchestrates that. Yeah, Vritasura, Haridas Thakur, and many more. Okay, yes, the last question. Yeah, this is a level 1 course, so we are not really doing comparative study here. Maybe a level 2, level 3 course in future, if you're after reading all this, we can do a comparative study, and also we can understand how different acharyas interpreted this thing. That is, commentary is there. Which I'm telling, I told, right, whichever way we understand, everybody is saying that we should surrender to Krishna. And then and Krishna wanted Arjuna to fight. That is why, let's not worry about the details of it. It's the principle that we have to take, and details may differ sometimes. And also there's a pramana for that. They're not telling randomly, I think Atma is here, Atma means here super soul. It's not like they're quoting Shruti Pramana to say why in this context, in this particular way, it is taken. So when somebody is providing a Shruti Smriti Pramana, we will have to accept that is bona fide. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll again meet in the afternoon. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So we'll begin at 3:30 p.m. Please come in time.